Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of the Uncanny Spirits Club. I don't know what all this is all about. I don't know, but yeah, welcome. And what we have, this is episode 89, getting close to 90, which then will make it close to 100 episodes of the Uncanny Spirits Club. And while it's 100 episodes, it's much more than that as far as the alcohol I've consumed. Because some episodes were more than one, some of those episodes were several, but still, it's pretty impressive. The build up to episode 100 of this part of my YouTube channel. So, what do we have? What do we have? This is something new. This is something new that I've seen and I haven't tried yet. And recently I picked it up, and we're going to see how it treats us. It is Climax Whiskey. Wood fired, it says. Appellation, not Appalachian. Appalachian is what, a horse? Some kind of a horse. Appellation white oak. And pot distilled and bottled by Climax VA Distillery, Tim Smith in Fletcher, North Carolina, United States. So I don't know what Climax VA is supposed to be, because I thought, oh, Climax, Virginia, is that a town in Virginia? But it's in North Carolina that this is made. So I don't know. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. This clocked in at about $32.99, I believe. It is. Let's see. It's been aged in oak for 24 hours. 24 hours, huh? That's not a good sign. And it's 90 proof. Only 24 hours? I didn't notice that the first time I picked up the bottle. I saw the aged in, but I was like, oh, it aged in a certain amount of time, and I glossed over it. And now that I'm reading it, it says aged in oak 24 hours. You would think that that might be like 24 years, but it is hours. It is hours. So, we'll see if that was enough time. Ooh, nice satisfying pop there. Looks like a synthetic cork. Ooh, I smell the wood. I mean, I smell the wood fire like smells like a campfire, which could be good or it could be absolutely awful. So let's see what direction this is going to lean in. Pour some into my glass here. And it's got a good color. It's nice and a deep auburn. You can definitely smell the smoke now, the wood chips and things. Very much like from a bonfire or a small campfire. Very much so. I like smoky things. I like peated scotches, and sometimes like the smoke doesn't really help. Like with the War Master, it had a mesquite smoke. It was supposed to be, so it was like a barbecue kind of thing, and it fell flat. It was interesting, but not quite worth the money. Now this is considerably cheaper. I don't know if it's going to be anything like that, but I am interested now that I've smelled it. It does smell very campfirey and kind of sweet. There's some sweetness in there. There's some definite sweetness. Definite sweetness. So let's knock some of this back and see what happens. I'm going to try to stay in view of the camera here. I'm kind of leaning like, I don't know. Let's see. That's not what I was expecting. It is very sweet. very sweet. It's like, it's almost syrupy in how sweet it is. It almost tastes flavored. And maybe it is. Maybe the oak that they put in it, because I can taste new oak. I can taste the flavor of the barrel pretty clearly because it hasn't been in there for very long. So the flavor really hasn't developed much beyond the fact that it tastes like a wood barrel. There's a lot of sweetness in there. Very creamy. Wow. This would mix very, very well with a cola or even a cream soda. Now, I had within the last few episodes, I had a beer that reminded me of a cream soda. I think it was a vanilla barrel, Kentucky vanilla barrel, something or other. I don't remember who the distiller was, but this is very strongly flavored. I think it's been artificially flavored, which is very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate because I'm really kind of it's twisting my tongue all up. I'm really kind of curious how this would have tasted without that extra flavor, because that's what I think. I suspect. I can't prove that, but I suspect. And that's a thing, unfortunately, with like there's a Crown Royal that's 23 years old. It's a few $100, so I'm never gonna get it probably because I don't want to spend that much on Crown Royal. But it's golden apple or something like that, gilded apple, something like that. And it turns out that while the whiskey was aged for like 23 years, the apple flavor was added in afterwards. And I haven't tried it, so I don't know what the impact was, but that's kind of a cop out. If you're going to make it apple whiskey that's been aged for 23 years, age the apple with it for good or bad. It might be terrible that way, but at least, it's honest. And I feel like this has had like liquid smoke or something added to it. I don't know. Let me take another taste because I've only taken one taste and I've been like really hyper analyzing it now. So let's see. Huh. That is really, really interesting. I can't say if I just like it straight like this. I'm not getting a lot of the alcohol strength, although I am getting a bit of a burn in the back of my throat now as it's been building up a little bit, but it's not harsh at all. I know this is an overused term as far as like spirits tasting goes, but I mean it when I say it that this is very smooth because it's velvety smooth. It's like syrupy smooth. I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I don't like it. I don't think I'm super keen on it. I don't think I'll want to get this again unless I get it specifically to mix with something. Because while it doesn't really taste bad, it doesn't. I don't know. The flavors aren't working for me. It tastes like artificial flavoring. It tastes like nothing. Something is not quite right about this. Not in like a way that's like, oh, it's so gross. It's just, I don't know. It's so hard to describe now. It is very syrupy, very sweet. It's like if a Canadian distiller came to the US and did a collaboration with a bourbon distiller. But it's not really bourbon per se. It is I don't think it's an American single malt, but it is an American whiskey. Um, there's so many dimensions to this. I can't properly describe it. It's crazy. I don't know. It's a good mixing alcohol. I'll say that. If I had some cola, I think this would be the absolute best thing I'd had all night. I think that's a bold assumption, but I think I'd like to find out. So I think I'll have to get some cola and try this with it and see how it mixes, because I think that's going to be like the real selling point. I think it'll be absolutely delicious mixed like that. On its own, I don't know, it's just too weird. It's just too syrupy sweet. Like if you mix it with something else that's kind of syrupy sweet, like a dark cola, I think it would complement each other very well. Um, as it is, though, I don't know. I was expecting more of a smoky flavor, almost like a peat smoke kind of thing, but it doesn't have that. It's very surprising, which may be a point in its favor. If you like something that is different than what you've usually had, this will throw you for a loop. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And as I'm drinking it now, it does kind of remind me a little bit of the War Master without the mesquite type of smoke flavoring. So it's not like that, but it's a fail on its own. It's a fail on its own. It's not doing it. It's got to be better mixed, and I think it would be. I All of the indications are that this would be a better dram if it was mixed with something. And I don't have much in the house to mix it with. I have a bunch of juices of my daughter's, and there's flavors like strawberry, banana, and things. And I don't know. I don't think any of that would really fit quite right. I don't know. I might try it with some coffee, either tomorrow or the next day. Like, an Irish coffee has the whiskey in it. I might try this the same way, maybe, but I think a cola is really where this would shine. That's what I think. So, Climax Whiskey. It was not that good. It wasn't good enough for that. Um, I don't know. And it's 90 proof, so I feel like it should be hitting me harder than it is, and it's not. I don't know. Climax Whiskey, wood fired from North Carolina, from Fletcher, North Carolina. It's interesting. I'll give it that. $32.99 here in my local stores, my local grocery stores in Ohio, if you're looking to try it for yourself. Till then, I think this will sit in the cupboard until I get some cola for it. I don't think I'm going to be drinking this straight after today. It's just not doing it for me. Anyway, so that's that. On that terrible disappointment, it's time to end. Um, and I guess I'll catch you folks next time. Until then, of course,